Quickly checking in on the current affairs and the news that made it to the top of our lips. Remember that one of our pillars is current affairs. The other three are motivation, entertainment, and spirituality. This is radio according to you. Authentic Stones, the firm which made rapper AKA's Tombstone, has put an end to the speculation of theft or foul play regarding the disappearance of AKA's Tombstone from his grave. The rapper's tombstone, which was unveiled at his grave on the day of his funeral, has since been removed. Twitter users sparked panic after visiting the rapper's grave to find that the tombstone was not there. This led to speculations from fans regarding the whereabouts of the tombstone. What happened to AKA's tombstone was the question. Authentic Stones operations manager Josh Kemp confirmed that the tombstone was not stolen but taken back by the stonemason because it could not be installed on the same day as the burial. He said the tombstone was removed to prevent it from sinking into the ground, and the family was aware that the tombstone was removed after the burial. Kemp also explained that the tombstone was only at the funeral on Saturday for unveiling purposes and was removed afterwards. Once the burial is over, we still need to lay concrete foundation. Then we install the tombstone on top of the concrete foundation. Otherwise, if we had installed the tombstone on Saturday, the tombstone would have sunk, Kemp said. He explained that tombstones were not always erected on the day of the funeral, as cemeteries had rules that allowed for tombstones to be installed 3 to 6 months after the funeral. The cemetery gave special permission to install the tombstone of the late legend immediately. This is why we will install it back either this week or next week, said Mr. Kemp. A 20-year sentence has been handed down for a KZN man who gunned down his wife's lover. This is according to the Durban High Court judge, Kate Pillay, who sentenced the 44-year-old Phumlani Sangweni to 20 years imprisonment for killing John Bengu. Bengu died from his injuries in the Stanger hospital. He had been purposeful and deliberate. Crimes of this nature are endemic in this country. This is despite there being avenues to resolve disputes. Sangweni was linked by cell phone records and conversations that placed him near the scene at the Glendale Heights on the outskirts of KwaDukuza. Pillay found that there were exceptional circumstances that allowed her to deviate from the minimum prescribed sentence of life imprisonment. She said Sangweni had not shown any remorse as he pleaded not guilty. He also did not testify during the arguments in the mitigation of the sentence. The court gleaned the glimpse of pain and infidelity had brought him. Common sense detects the pain of betrayal and frustration must have driven the accused on a course that he did. She felt that this did not detract from the enormity of his actions. The court cannot ignore the frailty of emotions. Pillay said the court accepted that both families had suffered as a result. Ekurhuleni Mayor Tanya Campbell has slammed opposition parties for a series of postponed council meetings. The council sat on Thursday with the motion of no confidence against the Speaker Raymond Dlamini topping the agenda. Coalition partners had previously removed Dlamini, replacing him with EFF councillor Ntabiseng Chivenga, but the court said that Dlamini had to be reinstated. Russian President Vladimir Putin vowed to continue equipping his military with advanced equipment on Thursday in a televised address on Defender of the Fatherland Day, a holiday observed across the country in celebration of the armed forces. A modern, efficient army and navy are the gauge of a country's security and sovereignty, a gauge of its stable development of its future. Therefore, as before, we will pay priority attention to strengthening our defense capabilities. The president also attended the ceremony in Moscow and laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier outside the Kremlin before meeting Russian military veterans. Putin said Russia will conduct the balanced and high-quality development of all components of the armed forces, in particular by equipping troops with a new strike system, reconnaissance and communications equipment, drones or artillery systems. Now our industry is rapidly increasing and production of an entire range of conventional weapons, he said. Putin also hailed Russian soldiers who were fighting heroically in the Ukraine and defending of our people in the historical lands. Nick Frischke arrived in SA on the 6th of February and was staying at an Airbnb in Pinelands, Cape Town, which he left on foot on the 14th of February. Police spokesperson Warrant Officer Joseph Swartboy said he was dressed in blue denim shorts and white tackies and a beige t-shirt and a backpack. An extensive search this week focused on the Hangberg Trail between Hout Bay and Sandy Bay, with police assisted by the National Sea Rescue Institute, Mountain Rescue, sniffer dogs, Provincial Emergency Service drone operators, and police divers. It's been reported that a credit card belonging to Nick Frischke was recorded in a logbook of stolen property that had been removed or recovered by police in Hout Bay. Western Cape Police spokesperson Colonel Andre Trout Colonel Andre Trout said that 3 suspects had been arrested in possession of the stolen goods. It is true that Hout Bay police arrested a 22-year-old female last week for the possession of stolen goods and 2 males, 22 and 23 years old, on Tuesday for the possession of an unlicensed firearm, ammunition, and drugs. Effective and reliable service delivery is one of the biggest challenges in South Africa. Potholes and damage they cause motorists and our pockets is a unique tale to South Africa. Someone who's had enough of this is a Tshwane resident, Gerard Rousseau. 48 hours ago, Rousseau took to TikTok where he recorded himself outlining and tagging the potholes with spray paint along with the letters ANC. Rousseau says that he initially thought that Tshwane was governed by the ANC, which is why he marked the potholes with the letters. But after doing his research, he came to find that it was in fact governed by the DA coalition. He jokes and adds that he should have actually gone back to add names to the rest of the parties. This was done as a way of getting attention of the governing party, as they are sinkhole havens, swallowing properties. The way it's being handled by whomever governs around here, something's being stated or started and not getting finished. Everyone is khatful with everything that happens at the moment, Gerard Rousseau said. While they aren't 100% up to standard, Rousseau said, and the community are grateful that something was done. I saw that video this morning, and I must say that was quite something. It is 29 minutes now before 10 a.m. Documents crucial to the state's case in the first state capture trial taking place in Bloemfontein High Court have been ruled as inadmissible evidence. In the first state capture trial, acting judge Nompumelelo Gusha ruled in the Bloemfontein High Court on Thursday that when some key documents were provisionally placed on the record for the state are inadmissible. The state alleges that the Free State Department of Agriculture and Rural Development fraudulently awarded a contract was worth 24.9 million to Nulane Investments, a Gupta-linked company, without following procurement procedures, and instead wrote a deviation of memorandum that cited Nulane Investments as the sole service provider.